When you walk through a storm, hold your head. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song.
Hello, welcome to You'll Never Walk Alone World. We're very happy to be back here, and we have a very special show today. So, doesn't matter where you're from, where are you watching, what time is it? Doesn't matter if you are here in Mexico, over there in Liverpool, in the States, in Canada, in Africa, in Asia. It doesn't matter. Just right now, sit down, relax, crack a beer with us, and let's enjoy an hour of talking what we're passionate about. Liverpool Football Club, the greatest club on earth. And today we have a very special guest. He's a producer, choreographer, voiceover artist, and I don't know what many other things, but he's also one of the biggest Liverpool fans ever to live. So let's welcome Rob Glover. Rob, there you are. There you are.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Good, great to have you here. How are you?
Good, thank you. I must admit, I'm a little bit jealous of the fact that you've got a pint in your hand or a can, one of the red Carlsberg cans there for sure. I'm still on my coffee for the afternoon. I'm getting me coffee fix, you know.
Usually at this time I'm with the coffee, except for Wednesdays, because Wednesdays, I mean, I have this show, so I figure out it doesn't matter. I mean, we do this show for fans all over the world, so it might as well could be nighttime or in the afternoon. There's no time right now for me. So cheers.
As the story goes, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Or 7 o'clock back home.
Exactly.
Very for us.
Exactly. And for us Liverpool fans, the time that counts is in Liverpool. So it's 7 p.m. there. I think I lost you there. Oh, there we are.
Still here.
So, Rob, just first of all, tell us. Before I start talking a lot about yourself and your career and everything, first, did you become and why?
Yeah, I mean, I like to say that a Liverpool fan. I like to say that I've been a fan since I was a fetus. I had no choice in the matter. I was definitely born into a red shirt. That's for sure. My whole family are Reds, are a Liverpool fan, so it's been a long legacy within that side. Of course, as it typically is in the city of Liverpool, we have a couple of Blues in the family every now and again. We talk to maybe at Christmas or at family gatherings, but but I had no choice in the matter, that's for sure.
Okay, so then you were born a Red, but tell us your earliest memories as a fan. I mean, in maybe watching the games in family or even going to Anfield. What are your earliest memories?
Yeah, so some of my earliest memories as a kid would definitely kind of go in the game with both of my granddads. To be honest, my grandfather and my great grandfather had season tickets at Anfield, and to be honest, even back then it was the old turnstiles where you could walk in underneath your granddad's coat in between his legs, and he'd sneak it in. So I'd sit between the two of them at the game. And you know, luckily where we were, our seats were in the front row of the main stand, which was the old press box. So there's a wall to lean on. Every time a goal gets scored, or you know, something magical happens in the game, both my granddads would stand me up on the wall in front of them. So earliest memories as a kid is just being excited to go to the game with the two of them, and that was our weekend tradition, you know. And then coming home to me nan having a nice warm pan of the Liverpool dish called scouse on the go, you know.
Yeah. Wow, great. And well, obviously, I mean, a lot of your life evolves around Liverpool, and I mean, the city, the club is still in your heart. But at one point, you left the city because of your career. So tell us about that. How what is that you do, and how did you started into all of that you do nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, to unpack that, to your statement straight away, you know, my whole life always has and probably always will revolve around the Liverpool fixture list. So luckily, even though I've been over in the States for 12 years now, living here permanently, you know, my family are very, very lucky that that when the fixture list comes out, I pick and choose my dates to travel home based around what games are at Anfield, you know. But yeah, so I growing up in the city of Liverpool, like everyone else kind of my age, or the majority of kind of the lads my age when I was growing up, always wanted to play football. You know, and you've got dreams of playing for your local team. And then pretty early on, you know, you realize that you're not quite good enough at that. It was boxing as well. So it was always sport. It was always football and boxing for me were my two kind of sports growing up. And it's what I wanted to do. Now, I was an actor, and I went to acting classes and different things along those lines. And I remember my granddad, my grandfather, probably the biggest influence in my life, was a dance teacher. And he used to teach various different classes a week in the city of Liverpool. You know, he was a musician and a dance instructor. So the arts were always big in our house and in our family dynamic. So he set me a challenge one day and said, right, I'm going to send you to a ballet class. It'll be good for your footwork for boxing, and it'll be good for your balance for footy. And I'm not afraid to say that when I first walked in, to be honest, as a you know, a male in that essence, walking into a class, and there's 15 girls and me, I was the only lad in the class. It was a little bit better than being around sweaty old men in a boxing gym and even on a football field. So I stuck with it, and then I fell in love with dance pretty quickly as well. Just the artistic side of things and the way you can move. So, you know, since then, I've been dancing nonstop since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, and it was dancing and the performing arts that led me to, you know, really admiring Broadway, and kind of LA and the film and TV industries. So America was always kind of calling my name from a very young age. You know, as it is with most kids, kind of who've got a dream. You know, the American dream's well and truly alive. That's for sure. You know.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, we have lots of things in common these days that we've been talking. I mean, obviously, I also love Liverpool Football Club, but I'm an actor as well. I do well. I used to do a lot of theater for many years, but dancing was never my strong spot. So I know there's lots of hard work and hours of training in dancing. I used to do lots of musical, but I would suffer when it come to dance. And you talking about football here in Mexico. In Mexico is also the most popular game, and most men here, we also as kids had that dream of becoming a football player, and then we realized we're not good enough. But here in Mexico, we have a saying like pretty much every man in Mexico fucked up their knee, because everybody here says that they almost made it, but they fucked up their knee. Everyone
Right.
here.
Right. Yeah. I can't exactly use that phrase because I kind of need me knee for dancing, but yeah, it was something along those lines for me as well. I think it was me back.
But well, then you go to the States and you start working, doing lots of things as a choreographer and doing voiceover. But then
Hmm.
also you start doing lots of projects involving Liverpool Football Club. How did that started, and what have you done? Like, because I've seen lots of pictures and videos and everything of you doing things about Liverpool or even with the club.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, as you know, as we've discussed, Liverpool is very much Liverpool Football Club is very much a massive part of my life, and with my love of the arts, similar to yourself with acting training and being able to host, I do a lot of various projects within the different dance worlds. I get hired to MC or host or compare a lot of events, and luckily I still travel all over the world and teach in front of thousands of people at a time, which is great. So I'm not afraid of kind of standing up in front of an audience. But to me, I'm in love with storytelling and drawing out stories from people. So it was kind of a bit of a natural progression. When you're passionate about something and knowledgeable about something within that side, it cuts through the boundaries and transcends a couple of different things. So luckily for me, work. I say work. Nothing with Liverpool Football Club has ever really worked for me when you're passionate about it. But luckily enough, I got asked to host or MC or compare a lot of these different events with a lot of ex-players, and that's morphed into not just kind of in a bar scenario, but we have a lot to do with the academy. So there's about 850 kids playing for Liverpool Football Club here in kind of Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island with the academy side. So, for example, bringing ex-players or ex-managers over to work with the coaches or to work with the kids over here, tying that in with a lot of a charity element where we know that we can raise some funds to help either kids in need or families in need globally. That's kind of the driving passion behind a lot of that, and that's kind of where it snowballed from. And then obviously with a lot of the supporters clubs. So moving to Boston, LFC Boston became a big part of my life as it kind of helped the homesickness and the strong call from home and being away from home. I remember you and I spoke about that when your time, when you were living abroad, finding that piece of something you can attach to. And for me, that was within the supporters clubs in the States. That then grew into, even being able to work down in New York quite a lot, the city of dreams for me, and a Carragher's bar there. But in Boston, we have a place called the Phoenix Landing. So hosting various events in these places is where it started, and it's grown into various other avenues of production now.
Wow. And talking about LFC Boston, tell us, because I mean, we Liverpool fans that now we're everywhere in the world, we have things in common, that it's obviously the passion for the club. But in every country, you find different things of living that passion. For example, I've been to El Salvador with the fan clubs there, here in Mexico, or with fans in the States. And the passion is the same. The game we watch, the colors are the same, but in each country, they have their own identity. So tell us about LFC Boston. I mean, I bet there's lots of people from the UK, but I bet there's also lots of people from the States or even other countries. So tell us about how you live, the football club in Boston.
Yeah, so the supporters club in Boston, I mean, it's an excellent point, right? So it's something that we're all bonded together through our shared passion of the club, and not only just the club, but of the game. Boston is very much an Irish town, right? So there's a lot of expats, there's a lot of British, there's a lot of English, there's a lot of Irish over here in Boston. But it's also an education capital of the world as well. So the amount of colleges and the amount of students that are traveling in and out of the city all of the time, it's very much that term melting pot. I'd say Boston's very, very similar to the city of Liverpool in so many ways, and it's probably why I feel home here. It's got that working class mentality. It's a massive appreciation for sports and for the arts. And it's that gruff exterior, but when you chip underneath, the people have got heart and passion. So I think Boston is not dissimilar to Liverpool, and I'm sure that kind of played into a lot of the a lot of the reasons why Fenway Sports Group really kind of looked at Liverpool as as an option to purchase and to grow and to thrive, because they understood that mentality. So here in Boston, it's brilliant because you get different scientific brains from MIT and from Harvard, and then you've got kind of the medical brains of the world, and then you've kind of got the working class kind of grutty brutes between builders or bricklayers or whatever that is, but everything goes out the window and we all kind of come together. So you don't know what you're walking into every game at the Phoenix Landing, but it's definitely a melting pot, and it's a bond, a camaraderie that's so unique. I think it's only Liverpool, the team, that can bring that together truly,
Yeah, and I mean, it's always fun to watch Liverpool games, even if you're by yourself. Better if you're with a club. We were looking at some pictures, and we could see some from Boston. It seems fun, but we also saw their pictures that it seems that you had fun in Madrid. I mean, we usually watch the games or go to a pub with other fans. But tell us about that Madrid.
One of the best nights of my life, that for sure. I can't tell you too much because I definitely made sure that I didn't remember too much. That's for sure, especially as the night progressed. But no, various pictures. Look, my next door neighbor, my best friend in the world, is a lad called David Goscombe, and what's really interesting is we don't go anywhere without each other for different away games, or the recent European Cup finals, even Basel, and then out to Kiev, and then Madrid was obviously the one where we lifted old big ears again. But what was pretty amazing was getting somewhat of an invite, and being able to be there in the party, the after party, which was in the hotel. And what had kind of happened was we were in there drinking away, and there's different sponsors and luckily ownership were in there, and various people that work for the club and around the club. And there was one moment in time where we were all there, and because it was in the basement of this hotel, there was an announcement had to be made where they kind of stopped the music and said, because we're in a hotel, if you go outside to smoke or you're going to the toilets, make sure that you keep the noise down. So they made sure that the room went silent, and then he said, okay, we're going to look at the exits, make sure. So I want everybody to turn around and look at the main exit, because there's one exit. And then all of a sudden he said, and give it up for your European champions, Liverpool Football Club. And in comes Jürgen and Hendo lifting the trophy, and the whole team came into the party. It was euphoric, mate, and it was kind of a state of shock. And then I could only see it blurry through my eyes and the tears. And then my phone got covered in a bottle of champagne, so some of the pictures are even blurry, which is perfect. But yeah, getting to hold big ears the night we won it was something I'll never forget.
I mean, it was a crazy night all over the world for Liverpool fans, but I mean, I don't know if there's a story that can top your night. It's unbelievable. It's great. And
I don't know about that. I mean, I think that night for Jordan Henderson, and especially for his dad, can well and truly top and dwarf anything I've ever done. But it was amazing to be there. Being a fan my whole life and getting to see that happening right in front of me, and it's nice. I mean, you're respectful then to the players. Luckily, I was able to have a couple of photographs, but it was amazing to see them let loose and kind of be with their friends and their families, and just kind of be a fly on the wall in that moment. Is something I'll forever cherish, and having my best friend by my side, and another really good mate, Keith Costigan, was there as well with us. So kind of doing that and hearing like Jamie Webster get up and crack a couple of tunes and see all the lads dancing to it was pretty special,
And it was a crazy night. I mean, first it was that big Jamie Webster concert, then the game, the championship. I was in Cancun. I was working, but fortunately I was there, so I was able to party by myself, because I was the only Liverpool fan there, but I was there singing and dancing and celebrating. And but I had an
Cancun's
uncle.
a party town as well.
Yeah, it was a good party. But my uncle, he's not a Liverpool fan, but he's a huge football fan, and he goes to every Champions League final for the past 10 years. And 6 months ago, I think, I saw him and we were talking. I was going to go to Liverpool before the pandemic. So I was telling him that I was going to Liverpool. And he was telling me about Madrid. And he said, yeah, I've been to every Champions League final for the past 10 years and to the World Cups since 2002, I think. Every World Cup. But Madrid was like, these people are crazy. He just said, that's all I'm going to tell you. I mean, I've been to all those Champions finals. I've met fans from every single club, but Liverpool fans are insane. I just couldn't believe
a different breed.
what I saw.
A different breed, that's for sure. No one can do it like Liverpool.
He said, I couldn't see what I saw before the game, during the game, and after the game, that it was 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Some of them couldn't even walk or talk anymore, but they were still singing the Liverpool songs. They're just crazy. And I agree with him.
It's definitely, it was definitely interesting to see the city of Madrid, and it was the same thing in Kiev, even when we were there. And but the feeling of it, even the scenes in the city of Liverpool that night and after we won it, and it's when it rolls around to that late night hour, and you get into you're stumbling around looking for a bit of breakfast. But it's like this Scouse call to prayer. It's just this droning noise of "Allay, allay, allay" chanted throughout the city, and it's amazing.
I bet. And we have lots of people watching, lots of comments. Chris Anser, Danny Greenwood, hi mate, hey Danny. Alex Malone, hi everyone, hey Alex, how are you?
The Cop Connect lads, all right boys.
Yes, all the guys we're going to be talking about Cop Connect in a bit. Tina Armstrong, Nikki Carson, Mordani, Mark Davis, Andy Brown, Rosuraya. I like the Reds. I love my family in Liverpool. You'll never walk alone. Karen Macy, Carl Jones. So many people watching and commenting. Cynthia, amazing story. Sheila Glover, Karen Macy. Well, talking about, before we talk about the Cup Connect, let's talk about your short film. You're now a producer too. So before going to the short film, tell us about that, because you started your own production company.
Yeah, a new branch of a production company, and we are calling it Boot Room Productions. Obviously, it's got a big affiliation with the term and with Liverpool, and kind of a homage to our roots. But truly, what the Boot Room was a think tank. It was a divisionless think tank of a room. A pretty smelly room, that's for sure, where they kept the boots. But there was always a couple of crates, a couple of bottles of whiskey, cups of tea. Just for show, for whenever they took photos, but I've been told that the tea wasn't really drank that much. But the idea of this divisionless kind of think tank before video, and it was lock the door and figure out what's next and how to create things, and that's always something that's driven me creatively and as a creative person. And now that I'm getting a little bit older, and I'm at the tail end of my dance career and kind of performing career, so to speak. I'm now on the behind the scenes. So my whole life, I've been involved in the entertainment and production world, be that theatre, stage, or television. And it's time to kind of step back behind the scenes a little bit and help grow various different entities. So Boot Room is focused on both the worlds of sports and entertainment, with obviously a heavy personal focus on all things satelliting around Liverpool Football Club. So the pandemic hit at a time when we were about to launch anyway. So, launching a new venture in 2020 is not dissimilar to the Scouse fighting instinct anyway. So we all agreed to kind of push forward. So this is a venture and an entity that's on both sides now of the Atlantic. So it's a UK and European company, as well as having a stronghold on the parent company being based here in the United States. So yeah, it's working on various different things from a marketing and an ad agency standpoint to where we can really grow with television production.
Wow, that's great. And well, you did this short film. I mean, for the Premier League title. I mean, what a year for Liverpool Football Club, for Liverpool fans. And then you did this short film. Then I saw it last week, and it brought me to tears. It's just unbelievable. I mean, if you're a Liverpool fan, it's just, I mean, out of this world. But even if you're not a Liverpool fan, you're just a football fan, or maybe even if you're not a football fan, you can relate to it. But obviously, it's made for Liverpool fans. So tell us about this short film.
Yeah, this was something that really kind of came about. It was an idea that we'd had in a way of, that we wanted to celebrate, obviously, the league title. And it's a story where we all kind of creatively and internally agreed upon kind of a direction as to where we wanted to go. And the writer of this is a guy called Dave Kirby. And Dave is a Liverpool Scouse legend, poet and playwright of international acclaim. And he's written many different things, from TV series to a lot of live theatre stuff, actually. Brick Up the Mersey Tunnel being one of his big smash hits. So Dave and I have become very, very close and working on various different projects over the years. But even as a kid growing up in Liverpool, he was somebody that I admired within the arts. So to get to kind of work with Dave on this piece, it follows suit with a lot of poems that he's written in the past, from the heart, all around Liverpool Football Club and shared experiences. So this told the story of the generations and how through the generations, your shared passion for the club has been passed down. And it's a story that kind of brought me to tears in the initial, and when I was opening kind of my heart to Dave as well. And he being of an older generation, the next generation to me, and has lived and breathed it. That's kind of where it started from. To be honest, even when you say you're not a Liverpool fan, our DP, so the director of photography, our main director on this, a guy called Ian Lysett, and Ian is a massive Blue, a massive Everton fan. So he and a lot of half of our creative team on this project are all Everton fans. He'll kill me for saying that live out loud, but the story kind of resonated right the way through and transcends something that's bigger than the club itself and the achievement. It's more about what this title truly means to Liverpool fans, not just from the city, but globally, who've supported the Reds and have waited for this for so long. So yeah, for it to come to fruition, we decided that we didn't want this to be a commercial venture. We reached out and luckily I reached out to Jamie Carragher, and obviously in partnership with Carragher's Bar and with Jamie's 23 Foundation, we decided to get the film over the line. Luckily, we've raised quite a lot of money for the charity, for the 23 Foundation. And we've been able to use this as a little bit of a catalyst now to springboard future ventures.
Wow, great. And I mean, really, every Liverpool fan has to watch this short film. So tell us, where can they see it? I mean, in your YouTube channel and where else?
Correct. Yeah, we've got Boot Room Productions, which is on the YouTube, which is the YouTube channel, number19film.com. I can follow up with links or anything along those lines, but the YouTube channel is where you can truly find this. And there's 2 other little videos right now of behind the scenes content. So make sure that you kind of log on to the YouTube channel and subscribe as well, because in the pipeline, as we go into the new season, there's some exciting things for Liverpool fans to kind of look forward to, for sure.
Wow, it's great. And I mean, I'm sure Scousers are gonna relate to this story. I mean, that being fans and having these stories with the club for generations, and obviously the history of the club was written in Liverpool and has been written in Liverpool. But now we live in a global world, and history is still writing all the time. And from now on, the history of Liverpool Football Club, it's being written in Liverpool, but all over the world. So I also people anywhere in the world are going to relate to this, because I know now guys from my generation. Now I'm here in Mexico and I watch games, Liverpool games, with my daughter, and I see guys that I'm in touch with in Indonesia, in El Salvador, and the United States, in Australia, everywhere, that now they are watching these games and having these memories with their children. So now it's a worldwide story.
Absolutely, it truly is. I mean, the Liverpool family globally still blows me away, and luckily, pre-COVID, pre the lights going out, I'm typically traveling constantly. I'm usually on a flight every Thursday and flying back to Boston kind of, a couple of weeks later. So I'm constantly on a flight, and luckily, even as far as kind of Japan and traveling all over Asia, the support over there is unbelievable for our club. And again, like I initially said, no matter what time it is in the world, if there's a game on, I'm watching the game with fans all over the world. And it still blows me away. You look at the scenes from Australia pre-season tour a couple of years ago. You got 90-odd thousand fans singing "You Never Walk Alone."
Yes.
The loudest recordable fans in the world, by the way, the loudest decibels ever to be heard in a stadium. And I know in the passion for you in Mexico City, you think over 100,000 fans going to the local Mexican teams over there, and especially within the different stadiums. But I think, according to what stats you look at, you've got between 600 and 750 million Liverpool fans globally, and they're the ones we know about. There's probably so many more in the back end somewhere. You look at kind of Norway and the Scandinavian countries. That all happened when television started, Liverpool being broadcast in the 70s and 80s, and now you fast forward to today, where thanks to broadcasting rights and television and the games being broadcast in North America, that's where we're at. The same way that was in the 70s and 80s in the Scandinavian countries. I feel like now the United States and North America, and even in Mexico and Canada, are kind of really clicking on the bandwagon in a massive way with the world sport, the real football.
Yeah.
But and thankfully, while that's happening, Liverpool are back on top.
Yes, we are. And well, talking also about this global phenomenon, and that now we are fans all over the world. There's a project, amazing project, that I'm now also here in You'll Never Walk Alone World, we are really glad and proud to be part of. That it's Cup Connect. That what they're doing is trying to just connect us all over the world, connect all the Liverpool fans. And we had last week Mark Kenny and Alex Malone, and there's also Danny. And I know you're also part of Cup Connect. So tell us, how did you get involved with the Cup Connect?
Yeah, I mean, I think straight away, coming back to it, the whole story of connection, the whole story of truly what it means to be a fan, and then the Spy Cup, the history of the Cup, and the Cup being the main stand where true fans have always been able to get there, and it's kind of bringing a piece of that all over the world. And even what you've been doing with You'll Never Walk Alone World, mate. I mean, I think that the way that it catches fire and it moves and it transcends through the boundaries and how we can all connect. The idea for Cup Connect is to grow that into hopefully the largest Liverpool fan club connection, and kind of group and hotbed to share stories, but not only stories and messages of the game, life stories. Luckily, even since we've kind of started this new wave of Cup Connect, mate, you and I have got to talk, and it's phenomenal. You're sat there in Mexico City, and there's such a synergy between us. But I also feel like I've known you for years now, and even the handful of conversations that we've had. And if ever there's anything I can ever do to help you out, I will do, and that's all the power of the badge and through our shared passions. So that's truly at its essence what it's all about. So yes, when we are able to meet together again, in person, it's those live events and those live interactions. So my involvement, it was a bit of an honor to kind of be asked to get involved in where that can go. And obviously being here in the States, it helps within that essence. So for me, with Boot Room Productions, A, I can help out in a media and a production standpoint, but B, I've known Mark for many, many years, and he's an amazing lad, an unbelievably talented singer-songwriter in the city. And the same way I'd do anything for you now, I'd do anything for Mark. Mark then introduced me to Alex and Danny, two big, passionate Liverpool fans in their own right, for sure. And again, I've only met them briefly a couple of times, but again, I feel like I've known them my whole life. So that's truly what it's about. It's really about growing and connecting and connecting the dots, and Indonesia to Australia to Japan to Mexico to Canada. It doesn't really matter if you're from the city of Liverpool. If you cut yourself open and you realize that you're all bleeding the same way, then that's what it's all about,
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, and the same to you. Anything you need, man, we're here. But this connection that now the internet is doing, that Liverpool Football Club is doing, and this project the Cup Connect is doing, it's amazing. I mean, I've been for the past days talking to you, and now we're even talking about doing some projects together. Talking to Danny and Alex, it's just amazing. They're so much fun. And talking about Liverpool, and Mark Kenny, that before knowing him, I used to watch his videos on YouTube and sing and dance to his songs with my daughter. And now I'm in touch with him all the time. And it's amazing. And with this Cup Connect group, everyone watching that are not part of the group, just go right now to Facebook and look for Cup Connect, because it's unbelievable. Because now, like pretty much 24 hours a day, I can be talking about Liverpool, because when it's Mexico time, I'm talking to you or to Alex or Danny, but then in a different time, I'm talking to Mark. I'm also talking to Carrie, who is a blogger traveling the world and a Liverpool fan, and we're also talking a lot. To Stephen and Darren from Austin, we're talking also all the time. And then it's nighttime, and I'm talking to Buddy Iskandar from Indonesia, an amazing singer and Liverpool fan also. And I met them all through Cup Connect. So really, it's unbelievable. Everyone that is watching and are not part of the group, do it right now. Really, it's an amazing group, Cup Connect.
I mean, mate, that's an amazing testament as well. And it's an amazing testament to kind of where it is and the power. And you say that no matter what time it is, if you're awake in the middle of the night, you've always got someone that you can talk to. And I think that especially during kind of, COVID times and this global pandemic, both mentally and physically, there's a lot of challenges, and emotionally as well. I mean, I think that the kindred spirit, I know for me, I've had so many conversations kind of, initially started out as comments online and front facing, but then on the back end of just honest one-on-one conversations, I'm always there to kind of have those conversations with anyone that needs the time within that side. So I think, from a professional standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint, it's amazing to know that you've got someone to talk to, no matter where it is, and truer words have never been spoken than you'll never walk alone within that essence,
Yes, and totally, like from the beginning. Well, from the beginning of the Shankly era, and now probably more than ever, it is true that now we never walk alone. And right now we're living this unbelievable situation that we never thought was going to happen with the pandemic, and it's worldwide. It's not just in one country, it's worldwide. But with these kind of groups like Cup Connect, we really feel that we're not walking alone. So it's really, really great. And talking about Cup Connect, tomorrow we are going to have all the people involved with Cup Connect, our first live event. And you are a big part of that. So tell us about tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's pretty exciting. We've got so we're launching our kind of Live with a Legend series tomorrow, and I know various different clubs and supporters clubs have been able to do that, but together in partnership with Carragher's Bar NYC, we are launching this series, and it's going to be with a chat with to be honest, for me, the DNA of our club, and that's Mr. Roy Evans. Luckily, I've got to know Roy quite well over the years, and every time I go back to Liverpool, I really try and make some time, and definitely carve out some time to just sit and talk to this this great man, and he's an idol and a hero of mine, and I'm really excited to have another conversation with him tomorrow. So that's what we've got going on. We're launching this thing. So tomorrow, kind of the same time, on the Cop Connect page, on the Facebook page, on You Never Walk Alone page, like You Never Walk Alone World page, we're going to be launching this live. So yeah, it's an in conversation with Roy, and it's more about, you know, what's next for Liverpool. Tomorrow's iteration is all about kind of the start of the new season, and how are they going into that as champions, as you know, how do we go again? Because if anyone knows what it's like to do that with Liverpool Football Club, I mean, it's Roy Evans over the years. So who better than him to really have that conversation in person? And it's a nice little introduction. I mean, it's as well as a touch on the history of the club. And for anyone who was lucky enough to kind of see the documentary that BBC did recently about the 30-year history, the weight of the club, you know, to lift that title again, we're going to touch on some of that as well with Roy.
Yeah, it was amazing. I saw it last week, and with my wife and my daughter, and so my daughter knew exactly who Roy Evans. She's only 3, but after the documentary, she knew who Roy Evans is. So even my daughter is going to be involved tomorrow in that show. I'm very excited. This is the first of many live shows and amazing projects that Cup Connect is going to have. We are glad to be part of it. And there's going to be lots of surprises. So all the people watching right now, you have to tune in tomorrow for the Roy Evans event. Also, Mark Kenny is going to have some surprises there. It's going to be really great. And talking about Carragher's, that Carragher's is also involved in this project and with Cup Connect. To people around the world watching and don't know what's Carragher's New York, tell us about Carragher's.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's definitely become, even though I live in Boston, New York City had definitely become my local, you know, the term your local pub. And it's become kind of the North American version of that. Carragher's is a magical place, and it's owned and operated by someone who I consider family now, and that's Brian McLaughlin. What Brian's vision was for the place, and to what it's grown into, is something that's pretty amazing. It's kind of like the Liverpool version of Cheers, where everybody knows your name when you walk in. But Carragher's is a special place just off the heart of Times Square. So we're on 228 West 39th between 7th and 8th. And over the years, we've had enough to fill pretty much 3 Liverpool teams of legends of all of the ex-players that have came in and out of the place. You know, we've had some amazing days and nights there of watching the games over the years, and hopefully, you know, well, we're definitely committed to coming back after this pandemic. I know the current state of affairs in New York City are a little tough on that essence. So, you know, we look forward to kind of opening the doors again as soon as we can, and you know, have a more fun time there at the bar. You know.
Yeah, so hello to everyone at Carragher's. I've never been there, but now I have to. I mean, it's a must stop for all Liverpool fans. And now, I mean, obviously, me as a theater actor, New York is a place to go. I mean, I always want to go there and watch theater plays. But now, knowing about Carragher's, I think my main object to go to New York is going to be Carragher's. It's the first stop. And after Carragher's, then I can look for tickets in Broadway. But first, go to Carragher's.
It. Well, luckily enough, mate, all the theatres are stumbling distance.
Yes, that's great. That's great.
But no, I mean, it's an interesting thing. I mean, there's so many people so many fans kind of from all over the world use it as a bit more of a destination. And what's really interesting is even if you're in New York for a weekend, I think New York sells itself short, because it's definitely a city for walking. So it's an activity. You seem to walk for miles and miles and miles around that city. And what's really interesting is we see, you know, fans will come in once for the game maybe, but then over the course of their whole holiday, you'll see them coming in for breakfast, for lunch, and then for dinner, and then even for drinks late night. So the visiting, it's kind of their home base or home camp for the whole time that they travel over, you know. So you get to see their stories, or when, you know, other members of the family are going off shopping, maybe you'll see some of the other members of the family at the bar. We'll put it that way.
Wow. And it's always great to go. I mean, obviously, if you go to Liverpool, you expect to see pubs where they support Liverpool Football Club, and to go to Anfield and everywhere. But it's great just to go to another country and find fans or places related to Liverpool Football Club. Like here in Mexico, what happened to me is there's a little brewery, a small local, really small local brewery called Sinestesia. And they made a special edition beer called Lee Beer Pool to celebrate the Premier League. And it was a red ale, and it was amazing. And then when I was in El Salvador and I found the football club, and they have the local bar where they go, and it's all about Liverpool. And now we know about Carragher's in New York. I mean, there's Reds everywhere. So nowadays, it doesn't matter where you are. If you look for a Red, you'll find it.
Absolutely. Of course you will. That badge is a calling
Yeah.
card. It gets you into most places water can't.
Yes. And well, Rob, we have a little surprise for you right now. It's like a dynamic. So Kimba, if you're listening, if you have the pictures, we have some pictures here. We're going to show you the first one. And what I want you to do is to first put a title to the picture, and then tell us, describe the moment and the picture itself. So let's go with the first picture, if you have it, Kimba. Let's see. Okay. At first, the title for that picture.
I don't think I can put a title on that photograph, mate. That's I mentioned him earlier, but that's my hero. That's my grandfather, Owen Williams, and unfortunately, I lost him several years ago. But he is the reason, again, like I stated, that I am as much of a Red as I am. You know, if I can grow up to become third of the man that fellow was, then I'm doing something right. My granddad was my best friend. You know, sitting by him every single week for the games was something I'll forever cherish. And then he's the reason I'm in the performing arts as well, mate. So I know that you and I have had a chance to talk offline about the influences both of our grandfathers have had in our lives. And then this one's even more special. It's the old main stand, as our season tickets are in the main stand as well. But the old main stand, that tunnel, and that was under Rodgers' era when the original sign was kind of put back up. So yeah, that's something that these memories last forever, right? As we say,
yes,
in the number 19 thing, and yeah, that's something I'll forever cherish.
What an image! What an image! So let's go to the next one, Kimba, please.
So from me granddad to me dad, and this is now in my season ticket seats at Anfield. So we're right by the tunnel. Luckily, we sit right behind the Liverpool dugout in row 14, and this was on the opening day of the new main stand, the first game at Anfield for the unveiling of the new main stand, and obviously me dad wearing the Carragher's shirt as well. You know, repping the bar. But yeah, you know, that's the generations, right? Me granddad, and then I'm sat there with me old fella. You know, he's someone that what's funny about me dad is he's got a little bit of a look of Barney Rubble from the Flintstones. But even when he was younger, he definitely looked like Sammy Lee when Sammy Lee was playing for Liverpool. So the funniest part was he'd be out round town in Liverpool, and he'd get free pints and sign autographs pretending he was Sammy Lee. So but yeah, that's me dad. I know I wish I could see him a lot more than I do, but we still talk every time there's a game on, for sure, you know.
Well, great picture. And we have one more, so let's go to the last picture, Kimba.
Okay. Yeah, this is and then again, you know, it's coming back to me granddad, and this was bloody hell, you dug deep here. This was the day I was leaving for America. So we're in Liverpool Lime Street train station there, and that was the day I was saying kind of goodbye to my family and all of that stuff, and kind of going to chase my dreams and whatever in the States. But yeah, this is at Lime Street train station, just boarding the train down to London to go to the embassy to pick up my visa, and then to get on a flight, which was initially to Las Vegas. I lived in Vegas for a little bit before I moved to Boston, and as I say, I've been in Boston for about 12 years now. But yeah, that was. I still remember the words that he whispered into my ear that day, my granddad, and I'll keep them between me and him.
Wow, thanks for sharing these moments and great pictures. And well, it's been great.
Yeah,
We're
I think
running out
someone's
of time.
cutting onions in the kitchen here, by the way.
Well, I know we're running out of time because I ran out of beer. But
you ran out of beer.
Been great.
There you go.
And just before we say goodbye, I mean, I have a couple of more questions. First of all, okay. I want to ask you, what do you think has been for you the greatest thing about being a Liverpool fan?
Again, I mean, we've spoken about it so many times. I mean, I think, for me, luckily, traveling around the world and being homesick quite a lot in various places, like work's work, and it takes you different places, but having that connection and that solid connection back home, and then meeting new people who've become family, just like Brian, you rattled off so many names there before that were all saying hello. They're all family, from my family here in my extended family here in Boston. You can't choose your blood relatives, but you can definitely choose the rest of your family, and I think that bond thickens. So I'd say that it's the family and friends globally that I've made as a result of being a Liverpool fan.
Great. And well, finally, just I would like you to just give a message to all the Liverpool fans out there in Liverpool, but also all over the world. What would you tell them?
We go again. Tune in. Watch the Reds. This is the first time I can ever say in my life that we're starting a season with a badge on our arm and a bird on our chest. So with that lion on your arm and that bird on your chest, here we go. Let's smash Leeds and start the season off right. Come the weekend. Keep supporting the Reds. Keep spreading the word, and look out for your fellow Reds as well. Join us on Cop Connect and share your stories. Like I'd love to extend that family network, and if ever you need anything within that side, you can always find that in a fellow Red.
Yes, and what a time to start, and what a way to start a season. It's amazing. And well, Rob, it's been amazing. Really, thanks a lot for this time, for this chat. It's been great. And I mean, now this live show that we just have is another Liverpool memory, and these memories last forever. And be proud that you're a Red. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Cheers, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, well, thanks also to all the people that have been watching and commenting, and of course, join the Cup Connect. Go to YouTube and watch the short film, and remember that tomorrow we're gonna have that live show with Roy Evans and with Rob, of course, and Mark Kenny with many surprises. Don't miss it. And thanks a lot for watching. And always remember that when you support Liverpool, you'll never walk alone. See you next time. Bye.